So ASL, not white power, is what we're going to talk about now. Now, here's where it gets sort of interesting, I think. On Friday, we did a story about these hand gestures that are being used by far right-wing extremists to indicate white power. And one of them is what we know as the OK symbol, right? And I talked about it on Friday, and Jana talked about it as an ASL user, which I'll get into more in depth next, on Saturday. Now, here's where it gets interesting. On Friday and Saturday, as I was setting the title in Streamlabs for this stream, I was typing something like, we're discussing white power symbols and their meanings in the deaf community and beyond, and set the title. And then the stream is running, and the title is not updated. The title is the title from Thursday, which is, hey, it's a birthday party, which was, and we had a wonderful birthday party. We're getting over 3,300 views on our birthday party that aired last Thursday on YouTube. All of our video on demand is also now on YouTube, closed caption. You can get there very easily if you type in BOLES.live. Click on that in chat. So, because I'm new to all of this streaming stuff, I couldn't figure out how to change the title of our stream while we're live. I figured out how to do it, but it wasn't sticking. Same thing happened on Saturday for Jan. Jan is going to discuss American Sign Language and white power symbols. Change the title changed. She's live. The title of her show is It's a Birthday Party from Thursday. So I'm searching. She's doing her show. I'm searching. Wow, why is this not working? And so I try to change a different thing, change that, update the thing live. I figured out how to do it in Streamlabs. While you're streaming, you can change your categories and your titles. It's not updating. Finally, in a moment of clarity after the show, after I'd sort of calmed down, because it's not a birthday party, it's kind of the opposite of a birthday party, I saw this error that was thrown at me through our Boles brand moderation account that I was on when Janet was on. And I finally saw this error message, and this is actually an error message from Twitch, because we have everything locked down on racial insults and gender miscues and anything that's nasty. We have everything turned up all the way up because we don't want any of that on our stream. Well, Streamlabs said, hey, we updated your title. And I guess what happens is Twitch said, not so fast. We're not changing to that title. But Streamlabs doesn't get that error back from Twitch saying, hey, we couldn't change your title because of this. So looking at this, it appears Boles TV changed the title to Boles TV with Janet discussing white power symbols in ASL and remembering Dwayne King. And Dwayne King is the guy who founded Deaf Missions. He is the guy who translated the entire Bible into American Sign Language video-wise so everybody can look at it. It's really just terrific. But you can tell by this highlighted red part that the Twitch moderation scheme that we have employed was catching the phrase white power. And that is considered hate or about race, ethnicity, or religion, and they will not allow that to be changed, which I find very fascinating. So once I figured that out, I was able to change the title to Janet discussing hate symbols, that have been co-opted from American Sign Language, something like that. And that title took. Just like today's title. I'll type in our command. Symbols ruined by hate. Okay, that's what, and that was accepted. So I didn't know. So I was censoring myself. I was censoring my own stream without realizing it. Which is sort of funny, but probably a little bit more sad. More sad than funny. So as you know, if you are a fan of this live stream, sometimes we play chess with Chessable. This is their website, chessable.com. I buy a lot of learning things from them. It's interactive teaching. It's not books. It's all online, all electronic. And they teach you how to play chess. You move this, you move that. The chess trainer. You've seen it. We don't watch the videos in this stream. It's once in a while we've played some of the test games so you can see what it looks like. The test scenarios. And every once in a while, Chessable will send us an email selling their newest product, giving us an update on the company. They're an international company, very well regarded, super successful. So I expect a lot out of them because of who and what they are. And I've had an issue with them in the past about using gender terms in their videos. And I've talked about this in their live chat, where they have these GMs who are mainly male talking about their opponent, in theory, using he. He does this, he does that. Why make it gender specific? Why are you assuming that your opponent is always male? Why not say my opponent? Or the person playing black? Or the person moving the white position? And a lot of young female women in their chat group, online conversation board, supported me. And it was early on a Saturday. And then all of a sudden, all the trolls woke up who were on Chessable, and they were all male, and they were all cocky, and said, oh, you're upset about gender, but what about calling the black pieces black? They're not blacks. Why don't you change them to blue? Because you're making it black and white. The white always moves first. That's discrimination. People miss the point on purpose just because they're jerks. And then we got a conversation about what is a WGM versus a GM. A WGM is a women's grandmaster and a GM is a grandmaster. And I asked the question, what is the difference? And the difference is that there is, I guess, a lesser standard for WGM that was put in place several years ago. And now it's being, I guess, not used as much, because there are some WGMs, because if you were a woman, that's all you could get was a WGM title. You could not get the GM title. But there are now women today who have reached the GM title and are given the GM title by FIDE, which is good, which is the way it's supposed to be. So the Chessable conversation about, using gender neutrality in the videos didn't go over well. And Chessable says they try it, but, what are you going to do? Well, how's Chessable going to tell a GM don't use the pronoun he? Because all they play against really are men. They don't play against a lot of women. In the big games, you still have the women's division and you have the men's division. Well, when you're selling a Chessable teaching system, you don't want to lop off half of the available people who are going to buy your thing, the women. Just include them. Or say, go between man, woman. My female opponent did this, blah, 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 blah. Or just use they, or my opponent. It's not that hard. So anyway, I get this email, and I get 2 or 3 a week, and they're always informative, and I usually buy their courses. And you scroll down to the very bottom of the promotional email from Chessable, and they have the author who's sending you the information, and they have their photograph. And most of the photographs are just face looking appropriate. Well, over the weekend, this one showed up. Right when we were talking about white power symbols. And this is Jabe, who is a worker, well-regarded person at Chasuble. And is he saying okay, or is he saying white power? Well, of course, you look at it, you think he's saying okay. But since I have been researching this and working on this, I emailed Chasuble over the weekend and said, hey, there are people who are going to misunderstand, either on purpose or through deceit, what Jabe is saying. And the issue is not what I think, because I know better, knowing Jabe a little bit from his emails and from his work online, that he's not flashing a white power symbol. However, the problem is not with me. The problem is with the people who want that to be a white power symbol. And who will then claim Jabe as part of their kin, online or in person. Ah, Jabe, he's with us. He's in our movement. That is the issue. Well, when I emailed Chasuble, they emailed back this morning very kindly and said, oh no, Jabe is one of the greatest guys ever. He's not flashing a white power symbol. The link you sent us to the ADL isn't really appropriate because we don't believe in bigotry or all these, things that Chasuble doesn't believe in, which is very woke and very fine. Okay. But they didn't say they were going to change it, and they didn't say they were going to talk to Jabe about it, which was my whole intent, because I know that if Jabe knew that could be misinterpreted, that symbol, he would change it. That's the answer you want to hear from people. Oh, we didn't know that all of this junk was going on with Herbie the Husker and 4chan and white power. We didn't know. Now we know. The context has changed, and we didn't realize it, and thank you so much, and we're going to fix it. They didn't do that. They got a little defensive. So we went back and forth, and they were throwing the ADL link back at me, saying, oh, it doesn't necessarily mean white power because it's used in sign language and other... All that's true. But in sign language, and that's why I have this thing up here, ASL, not white power, because I'm going to make some of these signs to explain it to you, and I'm not talking about white power. In ASL, as Jenna explained on her stream on Saturday, this can mean okay, and she uses that over the years as okay in class with her hearing students. Okay. Now, because of this whole thing, this white power thing, she does this. Okay, got it. Good for you. However, in ASL, this is the number 9. And this is F in the alphabet. It's a HandShape. Now, in American Sign Language, because of this issue, you cannot get rid of this. At least not very easily. And there are people who say the white power, this is the W in white, and this is, I guess, the P. This and down. I think it's ridiculous, but if you go to the ADL website, they spell it out for you. That's the WP. But it really means 9 in American Sign Language and F in American Sign Language. And there have been deaf people, I remember in Los Angeles, who were in a car having a conversation, and they're talking in sign. And they were shot at by people on the street with a gun. And later it was discovered, why were you shooting at these deaf people having a conversation in their car? And the shooter said they were flashing gang signs. Okay, so that's how easily sign language gestures can be misinterpreted, intentionally or not intentionally, by people who are looking to see something in what you're saying. They want to read in meaning into your gestures or your hand movements that are not probably necessarily there. And if we go back 2,000 years to the swastika, right? The Nazi insignia, the thing 2,000 years. That was a holy symbol in Sanskrit. Centuries and centuries of reverence for that symbol. And the marketing genius, the branding genius, you have to admit, of Adolf Hitler and his team was, let's take something beloved and beautiful and well-known, and maybe we'll spin it a little bit on its side, and we'll have the swastika from Sanskrit be our new logo for our death movement called the Rise of the Third Reich. So the issue is, if you are deaf, and you don't have to say okay anymore, you can say okay, right? But you can't not say 9, and you can't use F. But Jabe at Chessable can choose not to do that. Jabe at Chessable can say, oh, now that I understand there's new context and there's new meaning to this okay sign that I think I'm lovely and happily giving in my emails, I understand how that has been now co-opted by the far right wing and now means something completely different than what I intend. And regular people like me, Jabe, and Mr. David Boles and Janice Sweeney, his beautiful wife of 33 years, they know better that I'm not flashing a white power sign. But that makes me vulnerable to the far right, who will co-opt me in some way, large or small, saying, that Jabe, oh, he's one of us. See, he's flashing the white power sign. And maybe you're not convinced. I mean, we talked about this on Friday, and Janet talked about it all day on Saturday, so let's keep going. So here, if you do a search for white power OK sign in the Google, here we go. OK hand gesture, Anti-Defamation League ADL. This is what Chessable was throwing back at me that I threw at them first. And here's the hand gesture. OK hand gesture, white power. There's the WP, okay? And you can read this yourself. I put this in chat before I'll put it in again. ADL and OK sign. All right, now let's go back to our Google search. And you can see that Herbie Husker is having big trouble because Herbie Husker, the mascot for the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, used to go like this. And the university changed it to go like this. No, like this. Number 1. We're number 1. We used to be okay, now we're number 1. I think they changed it in 2017, which is how long this has been going on and catching fire. So they did the right thing. I congratulate the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And here we go. When the OK sign is no longer okay, from the New York Times. How did the OK sign become a symbol of white supremacy, from the Independent in the UK. The OK gesture is now listed as a symbol of hate. Wikipedia even has a whole history of how the OK gesture has changed from being a wonderful Buddhist meaning to something that is now very ugly. Is that an OK sign? A white power symbol? What's going on? Why is no one helping me? A Jeopardy winner has been slammed for using the white power hand gesture. It's all there if you want to look at it, if you care enough to find out. And I mentioned this during Jana's conversation on Saturday. I said when Brett Kavanaugh was being confirmed in front of the Senate for his seat on the Supreme Court of the United States, there was this woman sitting behind him. And now we know her name is Zena Bash, throwing the white power OK symbol on her elbow. Through his entire testimony, she's sitting there, smirking, doing this white power symbol. Now, Jade from Chessable is not doing this with the intention of being a nasty person. He's doing it because he thinks it means okay, and for a while it did. And now it's changed. Zena Bash knows better. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows she's not saying okay, because that's not how you do the okay sign. That's how you flash the white power symbol. Whoops. So let's just watch this with the sound off and see what you think. Is she intentionally flashing the white power symbol behind Brett Kavanaugh? Is she trying to send a subliminal, not so subliminal, message to far-right conservatives that Brett Kavanaugh is okay? He's one of them? Or is she saying she's one of them and she's close to Brett Kavanaugh? You tell me. I find it absolutely disgusting. And this guy's on the Supreme Court with those kind of people supporting him. Nasty, hateful people. Stealing symbols and stealing signs and gestures to try to make themselves feel better in the world around them. It just is absolutely outrageous. And the outrage even continues. This is from the Hollywood Reporter, and we're not going to look at the whole article. But this is a fascinating story of a Jeopardy contestant who flashes the white power sign. And he said, "Oh, no, I didn't mean that." Wink, wink, wink. Oh, sure you did. A group of 467 purported former participants of the show posted an open letter on Medium on Wednesday accusing the syndicated game show's producers of failing to catch what they allege is a white power hand gesture. On Tuesday, when Kelly Donahue was introduced as having won 3 games, he held his thumb and forefinger together with his other 3 fingers extended and palm facing inward, and he tapped his chest. Here's what it looks like, and this is the tweet. Oh, that's not the tweet. This is the tweet. Whoops, don't want that to play. And here's the tweet. America is a racist country while this guy flashes the white power symbol on Jeopardy. Right there. What do you think? Is he adjusting his tie? Is he celebrating 3 wins? Or is he flashing the white power symbol? As was done behind Brett Kavanaugh at his SCOTUS confirmation. And he denied it, of course. But this is the world in which we live. This is the disappointing world in which we spin, where a necessary hand gesture, hand shape, needed for communication can be corrupted and ruined by people who think they're having a good time, people who want to cause trouble. So know the difference, please, between a hand shape that is intentional and a hand shape that is also intentional for all the wrong reasons. You'll be better for it. And now it's time to take a very brief blood pressure break. We will be back momentarily.